Hello guys, I'm back. Yeah. So for today, we're going to be talking about if you like these types of shows, you like this type of movies, then you should definitely be reading these types of books. I'm going to try to be as fast as possible, but it's more likely that this video is going to be divided into two because I just have a lot of books to recommend based on the types of shows I have listed, and I watch a lot of shows, so you're just gonna have to, yeah, follow me. Just go with me, go match my vibe or whatever. And yeah, should we just get into it? So you guys already know what it is. Well, let's just get into it. So the first category, more or less, this category I like to see them as very close to reality. They're very close to reality. They're kind of movies that you watch and be like, hmm, I relate to this, right? If you watch shows like Normal People, if you watch shows like Conversation with Friends, and you should know that those are also books, but we're just focusing on the series, right? And also movies like Past Lives, those types of movies and series. If those are your vibes that you really like those types of movies, then these books I'm about to list out, you should actually read them. There's no reason why you shouldn't have even read them. They're very real, right? Very close to reality. You probably might see yourself in some of these characters, or eight these characters like me. I read these characters and I'm like, ugh, I don't like any single one of you. But some people really love it, love all these types of work. I also love them too, depending on my mood, but whatever. So the first one on the list is one of my favorite, Intermezzo by Sally. I love this book. It caught me off guard, and granted, it's not going to be for everyone. Like I said, this category is not actually going to be for everyone because it's so close to reality that you probably would not like it, and you probably might not like the characters. You're probably like, I don't like, why are they behaving like this? And that's because a lot of humans behave that way. So, but Intermezzo caught me off guard because this was my first Sally read, and she's very popular. She's very well known, but I never really liked, because when I read the synopsis of the others, it wasn't really my. But this intermezzo felt like it intrigued me. The synopsis, so I was like, let me give it a go. And I remember getting to the first chapter, and it was all over the place. It was like no single punctuation mark. It was just flowing like so imagine like reading something and no commas, no full stop. Like it was just so weird. I was so confused, and I was like, is this terrible writing? Because what is going on? I really was trying to figure out what was going on because I wanted to know if it was like a creative choice on our part or it was just terrible writing. So I kept going, and when I got into the second chapter, then it clicked that, oh, that actually was a creative choice because this was based on two brothers, and the first chapter was on the older brother's POV, and the second chapter was following the younger brother. The younger brother is more or less like a kind of like a genius. It was a chess genius, and you could see how his thoughts like are way more organized. So because she wrote it like you were in the mind of the characters, so the first POV, we're getting how muddled and how confused or all over the place the older brother thoughts are, and the writing really spoke of that, and that was like, I've never seen that done, and it was so impressive. So it made me keep going, and the more I got into it, the better or the more I felt connected to the characters or to the story in general. And I think I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. They were grieving their father. Most of actually the three books going to mention. No, actually, the second book I'm going to mention is also about grieving, and it just shows how realistic these books are. And it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Like I said, you're probably you might not like it, but if this is your type of shows, then you should definitely give these books a chance, right? Yeah, please go actually go read that book, because it's not all those types of books that you read and you have so much to say, because they're so deep, and you can see it in different ways, like because every character decision or every choice that they make, you you might not agree with it, you might not agree with it, somebody else might, so it just kind of like conversation starters, right? Like I love this types of book, because when I am out with friends, I can just talk about this book and I'm like, oh, what do you think, oh, what do you think, and there's just always like different takes on like the same book. That's really what all these books, that's the vibe, that's what they give, right? The second one on the list is Blue Sisters. Blue Sisters, I really love this, particularly because I have sisters. So I really uh I sympathized with their loss, because they lost one of their sisters, and I could understand their emotions throughout the course of the book. And this was the author's second book. So I was really impressed. And the third book on this list is a debut book, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. And granted, I didn't love that as much as I loved Blue Sisters, but for a debut book, that's mad impressive. I was so impressed. It's also like the book Cleopatra and Frankenstein is about two characters, Cleo and Frank, that are hugely flawed. Hugely flawed. I didn't like a single character in the entire book. And like I said, that's basically the vibe of all these books. Somebody else can read it and be like, oh, I'm obsessed with these characters. And somebody else will be like, ugh, why were they making those choices? I don't get it. But I feel like it's something that every single person should try. See if that's your cup of tea. So yeah, moving on. The second category we have, oh, this is kind of longer. This is probably the one that will take more time, is short stories. But this short story category is kind of divided into like different sections, more or less. And I've just recently started getting into short stories, because I find them to be so impressive. How you can capture an entire plot of a story and like make it so encompassing. It's so impressive, because you see a book that is so always so long, and you're like, oh, this could have been shorter, but these short books and short stories were able to just explain, talk about a story, and do it so perfectly from the beginning to the end. Like they captured everything. I find it so intriguing, honestly. But yeah, should we just get into it? Let's start with if you like series like Severance, you should have watched Severance by now. More or less like the memory aspect of Severance, like where there's a difference between your work life and your real life in quotes. The memory aspect, yeah, that's really what I'm concerned about. Then if you watch movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once, more or less like the how confusing that movie was. If you like K dramas like Hotel de Luna. I love that. More focusing on the mansion part of the drama, where you enter and it's like way bigger than it appears to be. That. And also Shining Girls, that series was so good. It was phenomenal. Oh my god, so good. If you like that, because that also add, I don't want to spoil it, because I feel like if I say that I'll spoil it, but maybe not, because you also add a house that could move through time in a way. Move through time. Yeah, I guess. So yeah, if you love those types of movies and those types of TV shows, then you should definitely read Piranesi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sue me. I think I have it. Yeah, I actually do. Wait. I do. One of my friends got it for me. And Oluchi, if you're watching this, thank you. Yeah. I added on my TBR and she just got it for me. Please, is that not love? Girl, just marry me at this point. But yeah, this was such a confusing book because on the cover you can see like this weird half you is it human half us or whatever this animal is supposed to be. So going into it, I don't think I read the synopsis because it's a short story, right? How complex can it possibly be? That's what I thought. So like going into it, I thought I was reading about this. Like I thought this was like a god. Like I actually thought it was like more like a Greek mythology kind of. So like when I kept reading, I was so confused. I was like, "Are you human?" Like, I had to go back to actually read the synopsis. I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually reading about a human being." So weird, but yeah, it was so. It took a while to get into. I will say that the moment you just start reading it, you get into it. Absolutely not. Like it took me a while to get into it, but once I got into it, I enjoyed it better. And I think one thing I feel like I have to actually tell you guys is that um if or one thing that I feel like I have to tell you guys is that when you're reading it, don't note anything, right? Because I think I kept trying to highlight certain pages, certain things, because I felt like it was gonna come into play later on. That oh my god, oh my god, like I have to highlight this. This might be important. It felt like I should be solving the case, right? But it didn't come to play. So it just means that like you would enjoy it better if you just go with the vibe. Don't try to figure anything out. Just follow the writer wherever the writer is taking you. And I think you would enjoy the plot twist way better. Because for me, as I was reading it, because I was trying so hard to like solve the case or whatever, or explain what was going on, I had solved the plot twist or had figured out the plot twist before the plot twist. That so because of that, it kind of felt like flat, like almost like a 3 stars. Not that it was bad, but it wasn't also like oh my god, mind blowing, right? But it was also good, and I know I would have enjoyed it better if I wasn't trying to add. So yeah, don't try to add, have, and you would have a fun time reading this. Okay, so yeah, um, yeah, whatever. Next on the list, if you like shows like The Handmaid's Tale, if you like that, if that is your show, you like shows like Children of Men, the old movie Children of Men. I recently just watched that movie and I was so impressed because this is supposed to be an old movie, but it's so good. And I've been watching old movies recently. I don't know what happened to my childhood, but whatever. And I've been so impressed. Like I've been missing out. Like oh my god. But yeah, Dance May Still and Children of Men. If those are your type of movies, those are your type of shows, then you should definitely read I Who Have Never Known Men. This particular short story was also so impressive, but I want one thing I liked about the writer is that in the beginning she's already telling you that okay, she's not trying to like there's nothing big that's gonna happen at the end. Like don't expect something like oh my god, this is completely different. This is or the world is bigger, oh we need to figure out this. Mm-mm. She's not she's telling you straight up that that's not what she's trying to do here. What she's trying to do is see behavior wise, how a woman that grew up without never knowing a man, like how that would affect her in different ways, physiologically, behavior wise, and you see that play out throughout the course of the book. And if you can just go into the book with that mindset, I think you would enjoy it way better. But if you go into the book with a mindset of like, oh my god, there should be something bigger, you won't enjoy it. All right, just go with it like you're just trying to like, oh, because for example, she stopped seeing a period. You want to know, is it because her body figured out that there was no need for it? Those sort of conversations. Those are the type of conversations that this book would push, right? So yeah, you just don't think too much when you're reading these short stories. Yeah. The next one on the list is, we have, okay, yeah, let's go with like this short story. We have the six deaths of the saint, and the knight and the butcher bed. I know I just mentioned the books first, but if you like this particular shows, the midnight mass, the uncanny counter, kingdom, the last of us, if you like those shows, if you notice, the common theme when it comes to those shows are um like an evolving of human beings. I can't I you can't I, I can't believe I'm explaining zombies as evolving of human beings. Is that not weird? But yeah, so that's like the common theme. And what really showed that for Kingdom and The Last of Us is the Knight and the Butcher Bed. Very short. This was the author's second book I read. Second short story I read, and I wasn't as impressed as The Six Deaths of the Saint. That was the first of a short story, and I was, oh my god, that impressed me beyond. Like I can't even explain how much that impressed me. And that is more similar to like the likes of like Midnight Mass, the Uncanny Counter. Like that feels like the vibe rather than the plot, right? So rather than the plot itself, is it gives the same vibe, right? And it's very short. This ones were like, I think 50 pages or so, very short. And for a writer to write like 50 pages or 50 pages and make it make sense is so impressive. But yeah, the book also that is also the shortest short story I read is this next one. But if you watch shows like Fresh Off the Boat, not necessarily not the comedy aspect of the show, but like where they left their hometown to come to America, that kind of vibe, right? If you love that, then you should definitely read the short story, The Paper Menagerie. I think I'm pronouncing that properly. But yeah, if you love Fresh Off the Boat, that vibe, you should read this. It was very short. Probably it was actually the shortest, right? And it was done so perfectly well. I almost cried, but because I don't, I want to say I don't really cry, but then that's a lie. But I don't really cry for books and movies because my brain already knows that it's not real, so it's very hard for me to cry for that. But I almost did, and that's what counts. So yeah, it was really, really good. It just shows how much like leaving a country come to a better to get a better life, and how your children, I don't want to spoil it because it's so short, so I don't want to explain too much, but it was so short, you know and you can read it, you have no excuse. Finally, the final category not category the final short story category is, this one is for, should I say, men obsessed men obsessed women. Yeah, more or less. I think it's just like women that are like obsessed with women. This is literally the category. And we have the movie Gone Girl. Gone Girl, I recently rewatched it. I don't even know if I rewatched it or I just watched it, because I have no memory of watching it as a child or when I was younger. Well, because when I rewatched it, I was like, oh my god, Rosamund Pike. Ah, oh my god, so good. The acting was so phenomenal. The story itself still relevant. So good. So yeah, if that is your movie, that is your type of show, then you should definitely read My Husband. It was so crazy. And so it ran throughout the course of just a week. Each chapter is going, we started with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like that's literally just a week to Sunday. Then it was throughout the book we had the POV of the wife. Then the last chapter we had the POV of the husband, right? And this book just made me realize that, or it just made me see, if you are someone that you've read 48 Laws of Power, Act of Seduction, and you're like, okay, I want to put this into reality. I want to put this in my life. This is literally how your life will turn out. Because it is just so crazy to me. Because even when I was reading those books, when I was reading Robert Greene books, right, I never felt like I needed to put this into play into my life, because I saw it more like history lesson, right? Because when I was reading them, because I loved how you would mention, like, give examples of actual people. So what I would do is I would do like a little research on how their life turned out, and all of them, when I mean all of them, every single one of them had bad endings. Like they didn't have good endings. So it boggles my mind why someone will read these books and feel the need to emulate this in their life. Like, it's so crazy to me. I actually don't get it at all. But yeah, the book was crazy. Like, think of a woman so obsessed with her husband and would do anything to keep him. And this is like someone that, there's even a child in play, but she doesn't care about the child. Like, all she cares about is the husband. And throughout the course of the book, you even be feeling bad for the husband, that, oh my god, you deserve better. Oh my god, you're making me feel bad for a man. Like, you actually deserve better. Like, what is going on? Like, imagine a man telling you that, oh, I'm cheating because I love you. Like, you made me do that. That's how crazy this book was. Just a fun book. I feel like I want to reread it for our book club, for my book club, because it's just like, as you have a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this book. And it's so funny as well, that, like, oh my god. But yeah. So anyways, I think we're gonna end this video. Yeah, right? Yeah, I think this feels good. This feels good. We're gonna end this year and start the next video with the next category. Does that make sense? It does. It makes sense to me, and that's all that matters, right? See you next time. Bye.